How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having a really nice start to their weekend. I know we are. We are making our dessert of the week. We are making cream puffs. Let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy. All right, we're going to add 1 cup of water, 1 stick of butter, and unwrap, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Totally, but we're going to make work. Alrighty. A little bit of butter on my hands. A little bit of that salt off of me. Alright, so we're going to stir these till everything's melted and boiling. So we're bringing it to a boil, getting that butter melted, everything nicely combined. We will check back when it is closer to that moment. Alright, now see everything has melted. We're stirring it, starting to boil a bit. We want it boiling a bit more before we move on to the next. But we're very close. Some of it's how fast the bubbles come back after you give it a stir. And then when they stay bubbling, even when you're stirring it, it's kind of what you're aiming for boiling. Just about there. Right, I don't know if you can see, but it's still bubbling as we stir. So that's good. Now we're going to add in a cup of flour. We're going to stir that vigorously until it forms its nice little ball. This is pâte à choux. So we're going to get that going, get everything in with it. All right, now I'm going to remove it from heat and let it cool for 10 minutes. We'll check back then. All right, it has been 10 minutes that we've let this cool. Got our oven preheating to 400. Now we're going to be adding in eggs one at a time, getting them all stirred in. Kind of being real vigorous stirring. That's what the directions say, vigorous stirring. This is like arm day. Watch those little videos where they just like fast forward through all of it. It's like, that looks so easy. You don't realize they are working their muscles, getting that going. Making sure it's not clumping up and not incorporating what needs to be incorporated. Right. Egg number 3. It is each one I'm like, oh, it'll be a little easier this time, I bet. It's still the same story each time. Vigorous stirring. vigorous stirring. Just like, is it stirring or is it just moving it all around? Ah, go. Now for the final egg. Not deluding myself, it'll be just as much to get it all. It's been every other time. I wonder if you could have done this with a stand mixer. I have to look that up. Because I am willing to bet that you can. That is a looking into for another day. So you're already here. Alright, but it wound up doing what it's supposed to do, so that's good. Alright, hang tight. Alright, on a greased pan, supposed to drop spoonfuls of them. I say it should make about a dozen. So that should be good. That should be that. Alright, so we're just doing that, and then I'm going to put them in the oven that's preheated now to 400 for about 30 to 35 minutes till they're all nicely cooked. That one might be a little bit bigger than they intended. I'm going to add to the very first one that was a little small. There we go. Ah. Well, except that 12 is what it was supposed to make. So I may, if we're supposed to have bigger ones, just kind of plop and do that. Just get the nice big heaping ones, which is really more like a couple tablespoons, not one. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with big old cream puffs. Might wind up more on the 35-minute mark then. That's okay. What else are we doing? I don't know. Your states may have more things open. Or you may be more trusting. Or you may already be vaccinated and thus feel okay with it. Whatever it takes. You do you. But be safe and be smart about it all. I am whispering at this time. If you're like, man, her voice got really low. I was whispering to help keep me concentrated. You know what? I think we're just going to wind up with a baker's dozen because this is huge. Because I can add a little to one, but I don't know that I can add that many to that many more. So I think we're going to wind up with a solid baker's dozen. As it's a baked good, it should be a baker's dozen. I think that's okay. scoop onto a couple others, whichever's looking kind of low. All right, now they're going to go in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. We'll check back when we take them out. We're just going to cool them on wire racks till they're fully cooled and then put their filling in. We'll be making the filling too, but we'll be doing that while they cool. All right, check back in a little bit. All right, 30 minutes. They are looking nice and golden. Guys, sorry. Nice and golden brown. Shut the oven before I potentially burn stuff. All right. And now, just going to let them cool off, but we want to move them to the wire rack to do so. I'll come back after these have been cooling for us to make our filling and then fill them. Yay! All right. So our cream puffs have cooled. Set them over to the side. Here, I'll move some of this stuff out of my way of the waste for a minute. We've chilled our beaters and our bowl. We've got 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Now you could fill your cream puffs with ice cream. You could do store-bought whipped cream if you felt the urge, or even Cool Whip if you felt the urge, or pudding, kind of whatever you want to do, but I almost always have heavy cream and vanilla and powdered sugar, and I like it. So we're going to beat this until it forms stiff peaks. Sorry, I know it just always kind of remind how much time it does take. And then once I get started, it's kind of hard to stop and pause you guys, so my apologies. But it's almost there, so that's good. And that's part of why you freeze your bowl and your beaters for at least about half an hour. I usually wind up having them in there closer to an hour, because the colder they are, the easier it's going to be to get to the stiff peaks. Which is where we are, yay! Oh, Lordy. Alright, so now we're going to add in our powdered sugar, then 3 tablespoons. Open, open. That didn't all come out, so let's... Okay. And then we're doing a half teaspoon of the vanilla. All right. Hand goes back. And so now we're just incorporating them, then getting it back to that stiff peak. I know, very loud, but a lot briefer this time. I'm going to pause you guys while I get set up for the last part. Alright, so you're supposed to cut off the top. Did not finish cutting. Do that now. Alright, and if you've got any kind of little bit of dough in the center, you can just pop that out. Then you take a nice spoonful and you just put it on in. Put the top back on. There it is, y'all, your cream puff. Bon appetit. See you later.